Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of the Cool Epic Awesome podcast. I'm your co-host Matt,
No, I'm Joe.
and we have a good
A
episode
lot,
lined up today. A
a
lot to
lot to
talk
talk
about,
about.
especially in terms of the movie news. There was so many scoops within the past 2 weeks, a
Yeah.
bunch of trailers, and we have 3 movies to talk about,
We
which
also went
is
to Comic-Con over the weekend.
yeah,
Just kind of
we'll talk about
interesting.
that. We've been busy,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna talk about Marvel's uh Halloween special that they just dropped, which is Werewolf by Night. The new Hellraiser came out finally, and then
Arrival.
at the end, yeah, we'll talk about Arrival, which I recommended last week. So, Joe, I haven't really spoken to you since Comic-Con. I'm
Yeah.
curious, like, did you enjoy it? Because that was your first time going.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was just like I didn't realize how massive it actually is. Like the space that it's in is just like especially in New York City, it's just huge. And there's like millions of people, not millions of people, but definitely one of the
Yeah,
most like crowded events I've ever been to.
yeah. I mean, there's a ton of people. Everyone's like dressed up in crazy outfits, and
Yeah.
it's mainly there's all like these stands where they sell merch and they sell um
Like art and
like
stuff like
comics,
that.
art, like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's always a fun experience. Um, even though sometimes you might see a couple of strange things while
Yeah,
you're
there's
there.
definitely some creatures when you go over there, but it's still a fun time. I'm definitely gonna go again next year.
Yeah, we might have to do a crazy cosplay, something
Yeah.
even more insane. Yeah, I think we posted on our Instagram like our costumes. Um, two of my friends came with us and they dressed up as characters from JoJo's, which was cool. I don't, which that's like one of your favorite animes or something, Joe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I kind of wish I didn't know your friends were gonna dress up like that. OD. I kind of wish I went like harder with my costume. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I like to just try to put on the most outlandish thing that I could,
Yeah.
which was the full makeup. But yeah, actually, like a ton of people are coming up to us, like, "Oh, can I take pictures of you guys? Like,
Yeah.
can we get a picture?" Just like I don't know, people like love that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So
There was a lot. Everyone there. A lot of people were really cool. It was like a cool seeing like so many like I don't know the term. Like all a lot of like basically it's just everything that I like in one place. I mean, maybe besides sports, but like most of the stuff that I enjoy was all there. It was interesting to see that.
yeah, and like everyone's gonna be in a good mood, you know. All the
Yeah,
people there are just like surrounded by stuff they like, and just everyone is just trying to enjoy themselves. Like it's just like a good vibe overall, a very like wholesome vibe, I guess. But yeah, it was fun. We'll probably go again next year. Um,
oh yeah,
but yeah, I guess we might as well just start with the movie. So we watched Werewolf by Night, which I mentioned before. Which Joe, you were looking forward to this for a while. I know
yeah.
you've mentioned it a bunch of times.
And honestly, from the opening like credit sequence, like with the Marvel logo, I knew it was gonna be like really good. Like
Yeah,
if you guys haven't seen, obviously, like it's the normal like MCU logo kind of thing, and then like it goes to black and white, and like there's like claw marks like across it. Like it's very like 1930s monster movie-esque type of vibe, and I really enjoyed that.
yeah. The whole entire film, the way it's shot, like the story and how the characters act, it's very reminiscent of those classic like 1930s, 1940s Universal monster films. You know.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to give a quick synopsis in case anyone hasn't seen it. But it's basically like there's this family called the Bloodstones that are monster hunters, and the main dude who's like the head of it dies, so they have to pick someone to like take his place as the leader. So in order to do that, they gather a bunch of monster hunters, and they're like, you have to kill this monster, and whoever kills it becomes like the leader and gets this weapon, which is like the Bloodstone.
Bloodstone.
And yeah, it introduces all new characters. There's no like characters that have been in other MCU stuff. It's completely like a brand new cast, brand new characters. And I like how they kind of like engross you in this world of like monster hunting, like just like the small things, like they have a bunch of heads of like different monsters hung
Yeah.
up. It kind of like shows that like in the MCU, like this has been going on for a while. Like even though we haven't seen it, like there's this whole other underground world of like creatures and
There's a
things
whole
like
yeah,
that.
like a different side to the MCU that you never really get to see,
Yeah, and
and
go ahead.
you can go. And for an MCU like project, it was very violent and bloody. Like I didn't expect it to be as violent as it was. I mean, I like that about it. I think it's better when they lean into that stuff. But coming from like Marvel, and especially with when Moon Knight came out, I was going a little off topic. Like they were talking about how that was supposed to be like so like gritty and dark, and like it really wasn't what people thought it was. And now, like to see them leaning more into the violent aspect, I really like.
Yeah, and I think because it's technically like made for TV, they do get a little more wiggle room with what
Yeah,
they can put onto the screen. Um, there was a couple moments where I was like, "Damn, like this is on Disney Plus."
yeah.
Like
And they
someone
got
gets their
away, and
throat slit. Like,
especially I guess because it's in black and white, so they can get away with like technically it's not blood because it's not red,
yeah,
so they get away with a little more too.
yeah, definitely. I thought like the fight scenes in it were cool too.
Yeah.
Um,
Even the design. I know like when the design first came out, I was expecting it to be like a monstrous, like huge, like hulking werewolf, like more like a wolf face, but it was more like humanoid. And I was like, oh, it's gonna look stupid. But it honestly looked really good in the I guess whatever it is. Like I like the design.
yeah, so there was like a leak that came out a while ago that I guess wasn't true because remember there was pictures of what he would look like and he didn't end up looking like that. He looks way better in the actual.
Yeah, yeah. It was like early I think it was like early like concepts art, like that type of thing.
Yeah, I like how they went with practical for his
Oh
costume
yeah,
fully.
yeah.
Cause like there's like a big, I mean, what's his face was a big CGI guy, Man Thing, who was in it. Man Thing is the monster that they're hunting.
It was
But
part practical though. They had I don't know if you saw like they had behind the scene pictures of like like the whole body is like practical. So some shots of it were they actually use like a almost like an
yeah,
animatronic, I guess.
yeah, but you could tell like when with his movements, like when he moves his arms and hands, like it was CGI because if it's hard to like be able to
Yeah,
articulate that in such a big costume, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, it's cool that they had an actual like suit for that. Um, but I think most of it is all practical effects, which was cool. Which is again like another
yeah,
kind of homage to those classic black and white like horror movies, you know.
yeah,
And there was like a ton of attention to detail to like make you remember that it is like in that time period. Um, like there was just in how the movie was shot. First of all, it's in black and white. Um, there was like in the top right corner, I don't know if you saw, sometimes there'd just be like a
yeah.
little
Like
white circle that appeared.
like cigarette mark when they
Yeah.
changed it. Yeah, isn't that from like when like back then on a film reel? It was like when it changed to another like reel or something like
Yeah, it
that.
was like when the what's the name of the people that are in the back of a movie
Oh,
theater and like wh-
uh,
whatever, the people that like change the
yeah,
film.
yeah,
It's a mark to tell them like where one piece of film ends and where the next begins, so they know exactly like where to switch the reels.
yeah,
But, like that's not obviously needed anymore. First of all, it was shot on digital and they
yeah,
just had a black and white filter. But just like adding that in, it's kind of like keeps you in that. It keeps up the illusion that this is a 1930s 1940s film, you know.
yeah.
And it's just little stuff like they didn't have to do that, but it just shows like the attention to detail.
Yeah, and it shows that I feel like they care about this. I mean, they're I guess the source material, but like they care about the way it's actually presented. Like like the people that made this like had a specific thing in mind, and they kind of stuck to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely unique, especially to the MCU.
Yeah,
This is the most out there thing that the MCU has ever done.
yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was definitely one of the better things they've put out. Probably the best thing they put out on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of I feel like the special presentation format where it's just like a little short film, like this was only what, like 53 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a great way to like introduce a character because
Yeah. Well, now I don't know if you saw that now they're gonna with the success of this, they're gonna start looking at other projects and turning them into specials.
yeah, because um just with there's so much like media to consume, especially with Marvel,
Yeah,
that like if it takes a whole like 6 hours series to introduce a character, like people are going to be less likely to like stay invested in the MCU,
I
you know?
agree. Mhm.
But also if it's like a 50-minute short film, there's no filler. You find out who Werewolf by Night is, you get like this little backstory, introduce a bunch of characters, and it gets straight to the action and resolves the plot all within an hour.
Yeah.
When a lot of the times the shows, if it's like a 6 episode show, the first 3 episodes will be like filler and not much happening,
Yeah.
and that's already like 3 hours of stuff,
Mhm.
So yeah, I feel like it's something that they should definitely look into because I know they have that Guardians of the Galaxy holiday
Galaxy.
special.
And I'm sure that's gonna be great too.
Yeah, and I mean James Gunn is doing it, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be just as good as his
I
movies,
think
you know.
supposedly like there's another Halloween special in the works for next year, and it's supposed to be about Man Thing. Like he'll be the focus of it. I saw this a while ago. I don't know if it's like confirmed or who else is going to be in it, but I remember reading something about that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they do more with him because I'm kind of like he's just thrust into the story. They don't explain
Yeah,
where he came
isn't he a
from.
very like powerful character in the comics? Like,
I mean,
like
I'm not
what?
entirely sure, but based on like the movie, he was like disintegrating people just by touching them.
So like yeah, so before I did a little research before like watching it. So basically, um the whole story with him is that he was working for AIM, and they were trying to make a superhuman serum, like like a super soldier serum,
Yeah,
and he injected it himself and then crashed into like a like some type of like mystical swamp. So he had so like all that combined turned him into Man Thing, but he like guards like the nexus point of like all realities or something like that, like something really
jeez.
big. So, I mean, they could play in possibly with, like, Kang Wars in the future because he's an important character for like, something like that.
Yeah, and
Kang Dynasty.
yeah. And speaking about like bringing them into other stuff, how do you think this world is going to fit into the bigger MCU? Because I can't imagine. Like, do you think Werewolf by Night's going to be in the next Avengers? Like,
No,
you
I
don't
don't
think so?
no. Like, I doubt it. Maybe, like, very briefly in something, but I just don't see, like, an avenue where that works.
Yeah, it's just like it really is just off by its own. I can't
Yeah.
really
Which
see
is
them.
fine, like, I don't care. I think that's fine that but, like, they don't need it doesn't need to cross over with the Avengers, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, it doesn't. But you know how Marvel is with the
Yeah, yeah.
interconnectivity. Like when they want to do a big event movie, they want every character to
He'll
come
probably
back.
be on, like, a Midnight Suns team, like, I'm sure Elsa Bloodstone will too. Like,
Yeah,
them 2, Blade, Moon like, those type of character. Even Doctor Strange you can consider.
yeah. I'm really looking forward to when they eventually do something with that team of
Yeah,
like mystical and
like,
I don't know,
Dark.
yeah, like dark characters. Because
Yeah.
the lineup could be what, Moon Knight, Blade,
Blade,
Werewolf by Night,
Wolf by Night,
Man
Elsa
Thing
Bloodstone.
could be in there, like as
Man
kind of the
yeah,
brute. I feel like he's
yeah,
a bit too like first of all overpowered because he could just disintegrate someone
yeah.
by
Oh,
touching
yeah, so
them.
I didn't explain. So, one of his powers is, like, if you f like, if you fear him, like, this you get burned, like, if he touches you, you just, like, burn to death.
That's actually
So, like,
cool.
that's why when he tells Elsa Bloodstone, like, to talk to him like a normal person, so, like, he's not afraid like, she's not, like, afraid of him, like, she treats him like a person,
Yeah,
and, and then, what was something else? Um, I feel like I read something else about him. I don't
I
oh,
don't know,
well.
but yeah, no. Back to what I was saying about the Midnight Suns like lineup they could have. I feel like they're gonna just put Daredevil in it, even though he's not really like part
Yeah,
of
it's
that
possible.
team. Um, I I think they might toss Agatha in there also.
Well,
because
now
I
see what happens with well, apparently she's gonna be connected to Ironheart. Like she's gonna be like training like what's the name? The Hood, right?
yeah.
Apparently she's gonna be connected to that. I mean, it's a rumor now, but
I mean, she's getting her own show, so like they must be planning to do something else with her.
I don't think that show is gonna be like anything like serious though. It's gonna be more like self-contained.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they should probably make that into a special presentation. I don't think people are really gonna want to watch like 6
Yeah,
episodes of
yeah.
Agatha.
I get the same.
Excuse me. But yeah, I guess I'll talk about my favorite character, which I think we might differ on this, but I actually really enjoyed Elsa Bloodstone, played by Laura Donnelly. I
I
thought
mean,
like
yeah,
she was a very first of all, it's like a strong, good female protagonist, and it didn't feel like, you know,
force.
forced or anything. And she was just cool. Like I don't know, I like how she was acrobatic and she was able to like easily take out the other monster hunters and stuff. And her outfit was cool too. Like just her whole thing I liked. And not to take away from uh Werewolf by Night
Yeah,
himself, but I don't know, I just didn't really connect with him too much in this. It was kind of like they didn't really go too far into depth with his history. Elsa, at least Elsa Bloodstone, like she's from this Bloodstone family line, and
yeah.
there's like these other connections where she's actually like she should be the rightful owner of
The
the
Bloodstone.
Bloodstone, which kind of like opened up her character a little more. But what did you think? Who was your favorite?
I mean, it's like 1A and 1B, but I liked what's the actor's name? I can't think of the top of my head for Jack Russell.
Like Gail Garcia
Gail
Bernal.
Garcia, yeah. And I haven't really seen him in anything, and I really liked him in it.
Yeah, he's an old by M Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I've seen him in something else. I think he's in
Oh, I mean, he's in Coco, but like he's a voice actor on that.
yeah, he's in I think it's one of Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu's movies. Yeah, Babel, which I've seen him in. It also has Brad Pitt. It's a I don't know. I don't really remember him in that, but I just know I remember looking at him at his like credits and he was in that.
Yeah.
But he's in a lot of shit, but like I feel like he's not mainstream at all, you know?
Yeah, this is probably his most mainstream, like, um, like I mean, not it's not really a movie, but I mean, technically it's a movie.
Yeah, no, it's a movie. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry. Like losing
No, you're good.
track of losing focus. But anyways, yeah, so he was great. Like I don't have complaints about him. And the look of him was cool. But yeah, like I said, like I just preferred Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah, but
Um,
they both were like she was a good character as well.
yeah. Also, Man Thing was cool, but he just wasn't
Yeah,
in it enough for me
yeah.
to choose him as my favorite.
I,
My
I,
favorite.
I, I well,
No, I was gonna say unless you had anything else to say
no,
about the
no.
characters. For my favorite scene, I really liked like the transformation and when he first breaks out and starts like ripping people up because
Yeah,
you had him killing people. Elsa Bloodstone was like murdering
killing
people.
people. Yeah,
That move that she did where she kicked someone like down onto her blade and then pulled the blade back up and it slit their throat was really
but
cool.
yeah,
And like super gruesome stuff. There was a bunch of scenes or there's a bunch of parts in that scene where what's his actual name? I don't want to keep saying Werewolf by Night. It's like Jack
Jack
Russell.
Russell. Yeah,
Yeah, so he was like murdering a bunch of guards and it was like it kept zooming in and as he was swiping at them blood would splatter onto the camera, which is kind of like
yeah,
it's a little bit corny. It's like that, but it very much feels like that old school horror film.
yeah. But I like that they went for that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm saying that's all like a part of my favorite scene where
Yeah,
it's just like the breakout and they're all like just basically taking out all the guards.
yeah.
And then Jack ends up like not killing Elsa Bloodstone and just dipping with
Yeah,
Man Thing, which was cool. Just like obviously they don't want to kill her off or anything.
yeah. And I like the
And
transition at the end. And they're playing like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which I thought was kind of, you know, because like I don't know if you know, like when she like the whole yeah, have you seen obviously seen the Wizard of Oz, right?
yeah, yeah.
How like the only thing that's you could see that's red is the shoes and everything else is black and white.
Hmm.
And then in this, the bloodstone is the only thing that is color until the end. Well, not the you know what I mean. Like you see
Yeah,
the similarities with it.
that was a cool touch that they did.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, when it goes into color and you sort of see that Elsa Bloodstone has like that comic accurate outfit, which is really
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
And you see Man Thing in color. He looks good. He, he is definitely a
yeah,
little bit jarring, especially in color, to like just be standing next to a normal person.
yeah. It's. I mean, I mean, I could say like Groot's similar, kind of, but I feel like this is like more like I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he is
guess, eh,
similar to Groot
but like
because
yeah, it's just like it's like a plant based like hulking figure.
yeah, and he doesn't like speak English, but he could
Yeah,
still like Jack still understood what he was
understand.
saying.
Yeah,
So yeah, that is very similar in that way. I guess if he does end up being on Midnight Suns, he could be like that Groot or Hulk
Groot,
type
Hulk. Yeah.
character. But
What do you where do you think that these characters will pop up next if you had to pick something?
I'm trying to think of the lineup. I feel like nothing that's been announced really has a high likelihood of them showing up because there's not really anything in terms of like the mystical elements. There's a lot of like multiversal stuff
Yeah.
that's
It's
coming
really
up.
just like Blade. It's like the only I mean, but Blade's probably gonna get delayed. Like, aren't they like rewriting the entire movie now?
Yeah, which
So
we'll talk about
we'll talk about
later.
later. So it's not gonna be that.
I
Um,
I mean maybe I feel like he might be in Blade. Now that
I
they are
mean,
rewriting it and they saw like
yeah.
how good this was, they could because Blade was
Well,
originally supposed to be in the
in
in this holiday special,
yeah.
but I think for scheduling conflicts or
I mean,
whatnot,
it would make sense because I mean, technically, Blade is a monster hunter.
yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah.
So
So
that would have been cool, but it also would have like overshadowed if Blade is also like in this
yeah,
monster
nah,
hunt, you
yeah.
know?
I feel like they could have done something with like he showed up late or something like that, just to tease that he's in this universe. You know.
Yeah, I'm like curious where any of this was taking place, you know,
They don't. Yeah, they don't really explain where it is.
or when really,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I'm assuming it's set post Avengers 1 because they show that like opening scene with like the all the event like the Avengers 1 lineup.
yeah, but that was sort of like for just for the narration purpose. I don't
No,
think that.
yeah, but I think it's definitely more towards like
Oh wait,
um
actually, now that I'm saying this, I remember someone was posting on Twitter because Disney Plus has like
oh the
the
timeline, right?
chronological order, and it was placed as like the most recent thing in the timeline, so it happens after Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I guess that answers my own question. But yeah, I mean, overall, just to wrap up our thoughts on this, like I was really impressed by how far they were willing to veer off from the Marvel formula, which is a huge complaint, especially nowadays,
Yeah.
of people saying Marvel always does the same stuff, same story, same characters, all this. This is completely a complete tonal shift. It's not similar to anything else they've put out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that this worked out because then now they're more likely to do more stuff like it.
Yeah, imagine like this came out and it was awful. I'd be so tight because they
Yeah.
just would
Yeah.
but
And I mean, well, the good thing, if it was awful, they could kind of just like leave it and it doesn't
yeah,
really,
yeah.
which, but yeah, it was, I'm just hyped for when he teams up with Morbius in the future.
Hope so. One can only hope.
I feel like they got to figure out how to bring Morbius into like Secret Wars or something for a cameo.
There's no way they're gonna
That would be mad funny.
there's no chance.
I mean, Morbius could be on like a Midnight Suns team if
Yeah,
he
but
was
like
actually
there's
like a
no
good
reason for
character.
him. No, yeah, absolutely. They do like an MCU Morbius, but like why would the Sonyverse Morbius be on this team? Like you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Because he's Jared Leto.
I mean, yeah,
and he's handsome. No, but
just do whatever he wants.
yeah, just I'll give my rating. I ended up giving it a 4 stars, 8 out of 10. It was just like a little bit too rushed for me, but I mean that's kind of what you get when there's all these new characters and they have to
Yeah,
wrap everything up within 50 minutes. I feel
like,
like a
and I
lot of time they were just spent like dilly dallying and talking. But
yeah,
once it gets into like the monsters and like the murdering and fighting and stuff, that's when I really enjoyed it. And also just on a technical level, like I said, very well made. So, what'd you think?
yeah, I gave it a 4.5, so 9 out of 10. I agree that like some parts definitely are a little slower, but honestly, I enjoyed all the character setup. Like I wasn't complaining. Like obviously, I love the action more, but I liked all the characters, so I didn't mind there being like small scenes of them interacting, like explaining stuff, because I thought all the characters were good. So yeah, I really liked it. It's probably one of my favorite MCU products.
Yeah, it's honest. It's most likely top 10, I would say for
Yeah,
me. But yeah, that was interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed it because I know you were looking forward to it for a while.
yeah.
But
And now
yeah,
I'm kind of like, oh, I want them to pop up again soon, but I'm gonna have to wait probably a long time, honestly.
yeah, I have a feeling they're gonna show up in of the Avengers. Like Secret
Uh,
Wars, they'll just have like a Midnight Suns team that's helping to fight like Doom or Kang, whoever the villain may be.
I mean, if they find a way that it works like that, where they can all, you know, fight together, then sure. But like, I don't know if you saw though. This is a little off topic too, but like the Avengers campus, like they're opening a new ride. And it's like a multiverse ride,
Mhm.
and the villain's like King Thanos, supposed to be like a Thanos that won. But basically, like there's a picture of like all like characters like jumping at the Thanos, and like in the picture they have Werewolf by Night and they have Man Thing as well, which is kind of interesting because like if they're putting them in the ride, I'm assuming they're gonna be like in the future of the films for like the next like 10 years at least.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I was gonna bring that up, but I forgot.
The Moon Knight
And
was in it too, so was Daredevil.
yeah, Marvel's very much about brand synergy,
Yeah,
just making sure that what they do at Disney aligns with their movies,
mhm,
their video games align with the
the
movies, so that
comics, everything. Yeah,
yeah, everything is sort of wants to be connected, so that people like from all different uh
demographics.
sources of like finding out about Marvel,
Oh
whatever
yeah,
it may be, like it's all like the same. So if someone goes to Disney and like likes the rides, they're like, oh, I'll watch the movies, you know. So the fact
yeah,
that they put Werewolf by Night like in that picture next to Iron Man, Captain America, like the normal well-known Avengers kind of shows that they're not like afraid to introduce like put him in with these bigger name characters, you know.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, thanks for bringing that up because I completely forgot about that. They also had a guy dressed up as him at the
Oh, I
Avengers
saw.
campus.
And they had someone dressed up as Elsa Bloodstone too.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I
I
kind of
didn't
want to
like
go there one
the
day.
jacket's sick. I didn't like the orange.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, but no, I would like to go to that Avengers campus thing just to check it out.
Yeah, it's
I
sick,
heard,
but it's also like guap to go to Disney.
yeah, I heard it's like not that great though, like the rides
Really?
and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's similar to like the um
Harry
the
Potter,
Star Wars
the Star
land
Wars thing, yeah.
that they have, you know. But yeah, I guess yeah, I mean that really wraps up Werewolf by Night.
One night, yeah.
Um, yeah, honestly, just I would recommend to just check it out. It's an hour, like it's something fresh and
Different, yeah.
and different. Yeah, but yeah, I guess that also went straight to Disney Plus, and then the next movie we're talking about, just Hellraiser,
Yeah.
the
Yeesh.
remake, reboot, or whatever you want to call it, went straight to Hulu,
Ooh, yeah.
um, which I had been looking forward to for a while, and
Yeah.
just, I mean, I'm trying to think of a way to give a little synopsis. Because I feel like you have to know a little bit about, like, what Hellraiser is and who the Pinhead who, like, the
Yeah.
Cenobites and stuff are, which we've talked
Because
about before, but,
yeah. I mean, you probably do a better job of explaining it.
I mean, I guess the best way to describe the story is there's this ancient puzzle box that basically, if you get your hands on it, and they change it in this movie compared to how it was in the original, but if you solve the puzzle, it opens up a gateway to hell, and these demons basically come out looking for an offering. And if you give them a certain amount of offerings, then you get granted a wish, which the whole point of the story is it starts at least with this like rich dude who's trying to offer enough sacrifices to the Cenobites in order to grant a wish. But then he gets sort of put in the background, and you have like the classic this group of teenagers accidentally stumbles upon the box, and then shenanigans ensue,
Yeah.
whatever. So they end up like stealing it from like a storage container or something, and the main girl, she solves like the first layer of the puzzle, and basically like when you solve one layer of the puzzle, a blade shoots out of the box, and like if you get stabbed by it and your blood gets into the box, you're basically marked, and you're gonna get killed by the Cenobites. So what happens is her brother gets marked first, and once she finds out about like the whole wishes, like getting a wish after these sacrifices, she sort of has to like think whether it's worth it to kill more people in order to get a wish, which would be to resurrect her brother.
Yeah.
Which it's a cool concept. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm like talking too much, but what did you think overall?
I enjoyed it. It's definitely the best Hellraiser to come out in a long time. I still think the original's better. Like the Cenobites are really good. I thought like the plot was kind of like okay. There's some like stuff that kind of is just like stupid. That I don't know. I feel like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense, and
Yeah,
the characters were just so bland and
yeah.
predictable.
I really didn't like any of the characters.
Yeah.
I mean, but the only one I actually kind of liked was the rich dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the main girl, and
No, I didn't. I
she
didn't
did a
like
good
her.
job, but I don't know. There was like a couple of things I was like, really, like we're in 2022 and you're still doing this, like tripping while you're running away from the Cenobites, like
Yeah.
not getting up. Like it's just like it's so like predictable, you know?
Yeah. But
But
honestly, anything to do with the Cenobites was great. Like the way they handled the Cenobites, I have no complaints with that.
yeah, especially Pinhead. I love this
Yeah.
iteration,
Yeah.
and it's very different from Doug Bradley's version, which
Yeah. And I
is
think it's
good.
better that they did it. Like they did their own thing. They didn't try to copy the original.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very different movie than the original. There is the whole idea of like sacrifices. Like in the original, I forget the lady's name, but she has to kill people in order to bring back her like dead lover. So it's kind of like the same thing of having to murder people for the Cenobites, like having to offer up
Yeah.
victims. Um, yeah, but it was, and I like how they really went into like the lore of the puzzle box and like what it is, how it works.
Yeah.
Because in the original, and like
You don't
the
really explore it that much.
yeah, they're just like, oh, there's this box, and then the character will like touch it, and then the like pinhead will show up.
Yeah.
In this, you actually have to like solve it. It's an actual puzzle box, so
But
you have to like
it's for better or for worse for that because I feel like it makes it more interesting to see like like who would go after the box, but also like some of the motivations are kind of like stupid.
like what?
Like I didn't I, like why was that guy like the rich guy like what? How did he know that if he solved it again, he was going to be able to get rid of the thing like in
Well, it's
his
because he knows he gets a wish, so he was just gonna wish for them to take it out.
But also like why is he like sitting in the walls of the I
Yeah, I
thought
don't.
that was yeah
That is really weird. I guess he doesn't want to like go out in public with that thing in his chest.
yeah
But yeah, I liked a lot of the kills too. There's a lot of like gruesome,
yeah
bloody people getting ripped apart and stuff, which is cool. And most of it at least seemed to be practical.
yeah.
Um, I can't believe they killed the Chatterer though. I was kind of sad
Yeah,
about
no.
that.
I kind of thought
But
that was cool that they were like that. That was a cool twist that they would sacrifice Cenobites. Like I never thought about that.
yeah, um, and it is cool to see like how they play by the rules, you know. If he gets
Yeah,
marked, even if he's a Cenobite, like Pinhead doesn't care. She'll still violate, rip him to shreds.
yeah,
I don't know. I just really like the vibe of this Pinhead. She had a kind of like smirk to her face, kind of the whole time,
yeah,
where you could tell she was just enjoying doing this stuff so much.
yeah. What do they call the priest? Like, isn't it like her? Because they don't actually call her Pinhead in the movie. It's like the
No,
priest,
well,
right?
they never say Pinhead in any of the movies.
Yeah,
People just call him that, but it's the Hell Priest.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. The other Cenobites were really cool too. That
I
guy
don't
who
know
was
all the
like
names
just the
offhand.
face, he was like
Oh, the
barely in it.
mask. Yeah, he was in it
Yeah.
for like 2 seconds.
Then there was
There was a pregnant Cenobite that I saw for like 1 second.
yeah, I remember that too. I mean, I like how they did kind of delve into that lore of like they sort of set up these just this group of like these demonic entities, and it's like shrouded in mystery, like their real purpose, you know.
Yeah,
But they set it up to like be explored. I feel like if this gets like enough people watching it, they're definitely gonna do a sequel.
I hope they do.
Yeah, I feel like they could learn from like the bad story elements from this. They know Jamie Clayton works as Pinhead. They know
Yeah,
people like the Cenobites. So then if they give this another try to do a sequel,
I feel like
like
that's the hardest part, honestly, was selling people on the Cenobites and like the different iterations of Pinhead.
yeah. And I feel like this is pretty groundbreaking in terms of
Horror
like
remakes.
well yeah, well not really because there's a bunch of horror remakes that come out that are good. But I was gonna say in terms of like representation for the LGBT community,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because the actress is like a is transgender,
Transgender, yeah.
and what big like transgender actor actress is headlining like a major franchise, you know?
Yeah. And she did a phenomenal job too. It wasn't even like they,
It wasn't like they just tossed her in
yeah.
just because she was transgender or whatever. She must have had like a great audition, and they just thought she was best for the role.
Yeah.
Which it's just yeah, it's really cool to see that, and I'm glad that at least Hollywood seems to be moving away from the typical just white male lead for
Yeah.
everything, you know?
Yeah. And I believe in the because I don't know if you guys know, but Hellraiser is based off a book called The Hellbound Heart. And apparently this iteration of Hellraiser is more accurate to the book. Like in the book, they don't really specify if He- Pinhead is a boy or a girl. It's just more like I think they said it's more like feminine.
Yeah, it's just
In
they describe it as like a genderless being, but the way
yeah,
that they describe Pinhead and what they do and how they act, it is meant to be a female.
female. Yeah,
Um, which is like again another reason why people can't really get tight that a female is portraying Pinhead.
yeah,
Also, like it just like doesn't matter. Like if you look at
yeah.
Pinhead
No,
in the
but
movie,
you're gonna tell me like you're gonna know if it's a boy or a girl.
yeah, because they disorient the voice anyway. It's
Yeah,
literally a bald, white-faced person with like pins sticking out of their head. It doesn't
wearing
really
like
matter.
a dress made of skin.
Yeah. Yeah, their designs were cool. They sort of
Yeah,
went away. The original
from the
Cenobites,
leather.
yeah, have like the black leather and the piercings. I mean, they still had the piercings in this, but it was more of like their skin being pulled apart.
I like that better, honestly.
Yeah, I
It
like
feels
both.
more. No, I do like both. I feel like them wearing skin makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
Like, it's just something that makes it's another detail that makes the Cenobites even, like, cooler.
yeah, for sure. Um, there was like a bunch of references though to the originals. First of all, like the big maze at the end and like the
The
Leviathan
Leviathan, yeah.
coming down. That was like straight out of Hellraiser 2.
Yeah.
And also, Pinhead says like the classic line. It's like, "Oh, we have such sights to show
Sights and
you,"
sound,
which was
yeah.
cool. They also when she said that they played like the original theme, which was
Yeah, I
you
like
know
the music was really good, I thought.
yeah, music was cool. Did you think it was like scary really at all, or
Um, no, but I feel like to a general audience, like, just the appearance of the Cenobites is unsettling enough.
yeah,
But
there
I
are
didn't think it was honestly, I feel like it's especially with those, like, horror franchises, like, like Freddy, Jason, although I feel like not a lot of them are actually like scary. Like the word to the point where like I'm actually like scared.
Yeah.
Like
It's
think
more
about
to like
even it's more
it's more
just
to
the
like
characters are cool and like
yeah.
the idea, like the themes, like horror and body horror and stuff. Like that's why I like it. Like I don't really get scared from it, but I just enjoy those types of things.
Yeah. I agree fully with that. Just having this like cool antagonist that's like
Yeah, like the Cenobites look fucking sick. Like it's not like scary to me, but like they just look really cool.
yeah. Um I was gonna say though also there's not like not a lot of the actors and actresses in it are known at all. I think one of the
Yeah, it's a lot of
dudes
no names.
is
Is
from like
in
Outer Banks or
yeah,
something,
yeah. Mhm.
which I've never seen, but
He
it's
plays
like
like a like some rich guy's like son or something.
yeah, and he ends up like what? He like backstabs her at the end or
Yeah,
something, which I think that was another like stupid thing.
yeah.
I don't really get his motivation to do that, but I I don't know. Did most of them survive? I feel like no. Right? I mean, the main girl
It's
survives,
it's her and her brother's boyfriend. That's it.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
it was
if
cool.
if they did a sequel, I would want them to do like probably completely new characters, like a
Yeah, I
different
mean, maybe
story.
bring her back because at least well, what happens in the original is the main girl, Kirsty Cotton, she gets basically taken to an insane asylum because she's like trying to tell people like what happened, and they're like, "You're fucking nuts." So she goes into an insane asylum, and one of the doctors there gets his hands on the box, and then Pinhead pulls up again, and she kind of like teams up with Pinhead a little bit. But like, I don't know if they're gonna do some like a similar
Yeah, I
route.
feel like they should like if they're gonna do something like that, they should just do an original story. Like I wouldn't want them to copy basically the entire plot from Hellraiser 2.
Well, yeah, the good thing about Hellraiser is just based on the way the world is and how the Cenobites work. You could just make a random person find the box and just tell a story. A
Yeah,
person in like ancient Egypt finds the box, and then Pinhead comes. Like it could be anyone, anywhere. So you don't have to like stick to a certain set of
yeah.
characters or like a certain
I like the
setting.
idea that um of the box finding people that aren't really like good people. Like she like the main character, what's her name? I forgot her
Yeah,
name.
it's
Whatever the hell her name.
I'll look it up right now. But go ahead.
She's not like a good person in the movie at all. Like she's actually like a piece of shit.
Really, you thought so? I mean, I didn't think she was a bad person. Her name's Riley.
No.
Well, she was an addict.
No, I know that, but she's just not like she's a very toxic person.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. She like
Like most
wasn't.
of the problems she causes for herself.
Yeah. No, you're right. That is like an interesting concept of them finding people who are in
Or
morally
broke
gray
like yeah.
areas.
Which is like I like that better. I mean, what's the girl from the main one again?
Percy Cotton.
She's like the most like normal, like sane, very nice, sweet. Like it's supposed to be like that, like goody two shoes type of
Yeah.
girl. And I think
Oh, you
it's
hear
yeah, because I think it's more yeah, the dryer.
the
It's better
laundry's
when
going
they
off. Sorry.
yeah,
But
it's better when they do broken characters. I feel like they make more interesting decisions. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
because
Like if you
and
like her killing her boyfriend. I mean, obviously he backstabbed her, but like even if he didn't, she probably still would have done it to save uh
the,
the
but
brother's boyfriend. You know what I mean?
yeah, but yeah, and they sort of face her with this decision, which is like, all right, you got up to the Leviathan configuration in the box. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to bring
Yeah.
your brother back? Which, and she decides to just like let it be because first of all, it was probably gonna be like one of those be careful what you wish for if she
Yeah,
decided to bring
yeah,
him back. He would have been like a half zombie or something.
yeah.
But
Honestly, when I saw, what would have been cool if
what
she did bring him back, but like he comes back kind of like how what's his name did in the original Hellraiser,
Frank,
like
the
yeah,
skin?
like the skin, and then the
Oh,
next movie would be her having to kill people to bring him back.
that would be cool.
That would have been like
But
I know it's kind of similar to the original, but I feel like that would have could have made sense.
yeah, I mean, and the thing that she chooses with the box is like they sort of set up this lore with the box where there's like 6 levels. It's
Yeah,
like
there's all
life,
different
power,
power,
I don't know all of them,
sensation was one of
sensation,
them.
and like you have to choose
Uh,
a wish like based on one of those.
resurrection.
Um, dude, what is the name of the actual box? I forget.
The
The
line.
lament
No, line
configuration.
configuration. Yeah.
Yeah, and lament stood for life. And when at the end, Pinhead's like, "All right, make your
Basically, you
choice."
choose.
She was like, "You choose the lament
Yeah,
configuration," which is you choose. She's like, "You choose to live," which is like she's gonna just go live on her life, you know. And then
yeah,
she closes her eyes. The puzzle box trend goes back to the original form, which is the lament, and then like the Cenobites are just gone.
yeah.
Which I like how they're not necessarily like bad, you know. Like
No,
they play
they
by
just
the
do. Yeah, they just do by the rules. Doesn't
yeah.
matter if the person's good or bad.
They're not gonna like kill her
Yeah.
just because, you know. I
Hmm.
like how I just love like the Cenobites so much. That's why I love Hellraiser. But
Yeah, they're the
I like how
sick. The
they're
Cenobites.
yeah. When Pinhead's talking, she's like, "Oh, we're like explorers of the far reaches of known like sensations." Just like
Yeah,
how they talk and act is like so cool. Like so it's like weird but cool, you know.
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, and this year for horror just continues to be like
Yeah,
amazing.
and we
Not that
still
this
have
movie's amazing, but
no,
it
but
was
just it's. I feel like
very
it's hard to
enjoyable.
find like quality horror films, and this year we just had a lot of them.
Yeah. And I guess my favorite character is just Jamie Clayton as Pinhead. I didn't really
Yeah,
like
I
any
agree.
of like the final girl is she's fine, but like the group of teens that are going against the Cenobites, like no one really stood out to me.
Yeah, I
Do you agree
agree.
with that though? I'm
Yeah, I agree.
trying to think of my favorite scene. It would probably be either one. I really liked the Chatterer's death and that whole scene because that's like when Pinhead first kind of like gets a big monologue.
Yeah,
Because most of them, at least at the beginning, she was kind of like you would see like a little bit of her face, or you see her for a second, like nothing really happens. But that whole scene where they're driving and the girl in the back seat, like the car, like expands,
yeah,
and then that leads up into after the Chatterer getting killed. Like that whole part, I thought was really cool. Either that or the ending.
yeah. Where the dude becomes a Cenobite.
Yeah. But what did you think? What was your favorite scene?
I agree. It was either that or the um like him becoming the Cenobite or that chase sequence. Is like the 10-minute sequence of her pulling up and telling her she has to choose, and then like that whole thing transpiring.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Now that I'm like thinking about these scenes, like another problem I had is like the way they're like, oh, the way for us to stop the Cenobites, they just like lock them out of the house. Like
I
they're
think that
literally
had to
like,
do. I think that had to do with the the house, like the whatever is like kind of shaped like the lament configuration. Like I think it has to do with something with the patterns. Like they can't go in when they're together.
oh, I
Like that's
see.
why he said like he's like I built this like a prison. He was talking about how like he built that to trap them.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought it was kind of stupid. Like they like look outside and there's just like the gate and there's the 5 Cenobites just standing there. Like
Yeah.
they could literally like teleport and travel like the known universes, but they can't like go through a gate. It was just like
I
stupid.
think it was more just it has to do with the actual like pattern of it.
Yeah.
That's how I took it at
I
least.
mean, that is like a little bit of a nitpick anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah. Overall, I was pretty happy with it, with the film. Definitely
Oh
happy
yeah.
with Jamie Clayton's performance.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, so I give it three and a
Which,
half as well.
for context, like the original Hellraiser for me is a 4 star, so it's not quite as good, but it's around the same mark.
I mean, I gave the original 3.5, but I like. I mean, they're the same score, but I still think the original's a better film.
Yeah, I hope they do more in this universe because it's
Oh
definitely like
yeah.
a different. It is a like a modern spin on on Hellraiser and like the Cenobites.
There's there's so many stories they could tell with this, honestly.
Yeah,
It's not I feel like it's not hard to make, like, a story about someone being greedy and wanting a wish and, like, what they're willing to do to get, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, I hope they explore this world more.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess that wraps up that.
yeah,
Um, does it to go to movie news now? There's so much shit, dude.
yeah, it's a lot.
I don't even know where to start. I feel like the biggest thing that happened in the past 2 weeks was the Deadpool 3 announcement, and Hugh Jackman is going to come
Jackman
back,
returning, yeah.
which, I mean, I feel like everyone kind of figured that once Disney bought Fox, like Hugh Jackman was going to come back in some capacity.
I thought maybe Secret Wars, but I didn't expect him to be in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, I thought he would maybe have a cameo because like he's always said how he wants to like
Yeah,
like be in the same movie as the Avengers and stuff.
yeah.
But because of like obviously like rights issues, they couldn't do that.
Oh, yeah,
But the fact that he's actually playing like I'm assuming is a co-lead in Deadpool 3 is pretty crazy.
yeah. What do you think the villain's gonna be?
Mm, I honestly have no idea.
Like, I don't know what they could do.
I think my prediction for the film is that it's gonna start off with him in like the Fox universe,
Yeah, and I think by the end,
and then by
he'll
the
be
end, yeah, he'll get transported to the MCU.
yeah. But, like, Wolverine won't.
Yeah, Wolverine. Well, I don't think he's gonna die
No, because they
because
said it's supposed to be like, what you call it? I can't
well,
think,
I know it's because Logan came out and Wolverine died in that, obviously.
yeah, it's supposed to be, like, before Logan.
Yeah, because when Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, they like made a little video explaining like how
Yeah,
it's gonna work. It was like a joke video, but the first thing they say is like Logan takes place in 2029. We're not touching that. So to me, that just felt like Logan is in the future, and this is gonna be like a prequel to that kind of like
yeah,
it's just gonna
yeah,
take place before that, which is
c
it's fine with me. I
yeah,
mean, if they like went up and dug up his grave and somehow made him come alive after Logan, then I'll be like, all right,
yeah.
it's kind of weird, but there's a lot of lost time between like when the last X-Men film
Yeah,
happens.
that's what I'm saying, like, it could what, it's like 30 years, like, they could easily just make up, like, them going on an adventure together.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know
I
if you
mean,
saw, like, I was reading about it. So the original Deadpool 3 pitch, like, before, Disney bought Fox, it was gonna be, like, almost like a buddy cop movie with Wolverine and Deadpool, like, traveling around the country, like, road
it,
tripping. That was, like, the original plan for Deadpool 3, like, at Fox, but then obviously Disney bought it. So I wonder if they're gonna take inspiration from that.
yeah, I mean, it's probably the best possible thing they could do is like a buddy cop thing
Yeah.
where it's just these two co-leads. Like, there's going to be the wisecracking Deadpool and the more serious brooding Wolverine, like, the
Mhm.
classic.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's going to work just because of how beloved the characters are, especially Wolverine.
Yeah, and I feel like the people behind it are, like, they're good.
I mean, Sean Levy
Yeah,
is directing, who does Stranger Things, and he also produced Arrival, which is pretty cool.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'm sure it'll be good. I'm just like, this is something that I never imagined would happen, you know. But also, like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield came back, so at that point, like anyone
yeah,
is
why
on the
not?
table. I feel
Yeah,
like if they could somehow figure out a way to get Toby and Hugh Jackman like on the same screen together, that would actually be sick. If
I
they
feel like
maybe
for,
come back for Secret Wars or
yeah,
something.
Secret Wars is, like, not it's possible.
It would just be like a really full circle kind of thing
Yeah,
because Spider-Man and X-Men were like the start to the superhero genre in in movies, and now it's like obviously blown up insanely.
yeah,
But it was really like Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire are like some of like the founding, I guess the founding fathers of like the superhero genre. So to see
yeah,
them be able to interact will be
and share
really
the
cool.
screen with each other, yeah, it would be pretty interesting.
And I think they're gonna figure out a way to do it because like if they're presented the opportunity, like how can you say no if you're like
Yeah, I
Toby,
agree.
you
Yeah,
know? And I'm sure they'll give him a fat paycheck.
yeah.
Hugh's probably getting a fat paycheck, dude,
To
for
do this,
sure.
yeah, 100%.
Because he has to like he's probably not gonna go that insane with his workout,
I
but
mean, he
he's
already
gonna
started training.
yeah. Like I don't think he's gonna be as big as he was in like Days of Future Past and like stuff like that.
No, no, no. He'll just be like more in shape, and they could
Yeah.
always just add muscle in like post
Yeah.
production.
It doesn't really matter. Like it's not
Yeah,
like people are gonna call him lazy. Like he played the character for like 20 years
years. Yeah.
already. But
Who do you think they're gonna cast as? Because I don't think he's gonna be the MCU Wolverine.
no, he's not. I
So I wonder
think
like who they're gonna cast.
I don't know, dude. I feel like it's gonna be Daniel Radcliffe. I keep coming back to him whenever I think of Wolverine, but
I mean, it's possible.
yeah, I think the movie might also introduce the MCU Wolverine, maybe like at the end, which would be like cool. It would be funny if Deadpool
I mean,
makes
it's possible.
like a joke about how they have
Yeah.
to recast, and then they introduce someone. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, but it doesn't start filming till it comes out in 2024. So like,
So probably what? It's gonna film next year, probably spring, right?
yeah, probably next year. Um, that
What's the
year
next
20
Marvel product to
2024.
film?
Oh, the next film, Black Panther.
No, 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 that's like filming next.
Oh, well, it's supposed to be Blade, but they're not. I'm trying to
I wonder
think
what's
because
next. Yeah,
a lot of this shit is like filmed already. Like Ironheart, I think is filming right now or
yeah.
already finished. Um, Secret Invasion's finished. Trying to think.
I'm trying to look up a picture. Um,
But yeah, well, I mean,
we're
regardless,
we're gonna Black Panther's the end of what? Phase 5, so we're in phase 6.
now we're in phase five. We're about to
No,
enter
but I'm
phase
saying,
five.
yeah. Oh,
Black Panther's
I'm
phase four.
trying to see.
I
Because
mean, either
Blade
way,
was,
it doesn't really matter. I feel like we have so much shit to talk about. We kind of have to like be a little
yeah.
brisk
Oh, I guess
through it.
Captain America is gonna be the next one.
Yeah, which they announced the leader is going to be
Yeah,
the villain, which we talked about. But let's see what else happened. We talked about it for a second, but Blade, they
yeah.
lost the
Blade lost the
director.
director, and
Um,
apparently, the script was only 90 pages, and there was only like 2 action scenes.
yeah, and like for those of you that don't know, like 90 pages is the bare minimum to like make
Yeah,
a film. It's like very like a 90-page script is like a very short film. But apparently Mahershala Ali, who plays Blade, is upset with like the process, how long it's taking, and
do you think
the
the
whole.
reason why it's taking so long is because they're seeing people actually like want more like darker, violent, like MCU movies, and that's why like they're changing the script to make it a little more
I
like
don't know.
rated
I
R
mean, I don't know. I just feel like apparently they said Kevin Feige stretched a little too thin. I feel like the writers might not have been that experienced, and they were sort of like this is just
on
like
into this.
a theory, I guess, but they're like waiting for like Feige's approval on stuff and like need his help to write the script. But there's just so much like other Marvel shit going on that he doesn't have
Yeah,
time, you know. Um, but I wasn't all too familiar with that director anyway, so I'm not like that tight about it.
apparently he's still gonna be a producer. They said.
All right, yeah, so he's not like fully leaving the project.
Yeah.
Um, I hope maybe they could get a Spike Lee to direct or something. Or I
Well,
know people
now Giancarlo Esposito is probably the favorite.
who
The what's his name?
Giancarlo
Oh
Esposito,
no, not Giancarlo Esposito. What? Um, the guy who just did Were I don't know why I said Giancarlo Esposito. The guy who just did Werewolf
Michael
Man.
Giacchino,
Yeah, I don't know why.
but I mean, yeah, he could do it. That would be cool because I loved what he did with Werewolf by Night. But that's also like a big budget movie, and I feel like they probably want to go with a black director
Yeah,
because the cast is mostly black,
yeah.
which obviously it's fine. I mean, I still think they should choose whoever's like best for the job. but usually with like films with an all black cast, they tend to
Yeah.
get a black director to do it. So I don't know if Giacchino will do it, but yeah, I mean I'm kind of like tight about the whole situation because I love Blade and that was probably the movie I was most looking forward to.
Yeah.
Just hearing it's like stuck in development is like it sucks. But it also was a good sign because it's not like let's say Kevin Feige went in to talk to these guys, saw this 90-page script and was like, "You know what? Like I have too much shit going on, whatever. Like just go with it."
Yeah.
But he was like, "You know what? Like no, we have to like do this right. We have
Right.
to like take a step back," which is a good sign.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
agree.
I mean that that's that for Blade. I'm trying to think what else.
The
I don't
Mario
know.
trailer.
Well, I'm trying to think since we're on the topic of Marvel, was there
Uh,
anything else or no?
um, I mean the Black Panther 2 trailer.
Yeah, which we posted it. I'm like actually like getting more and more hype for that movie.
Yeah, it looks really good.
The trailers look amazing. They're like some of the best trailers for MCU movies. Um, what was I gonna say
Yeah, I'm
about it?
pretty excited for it.
Yeah, the movie's 2 hours and 40 minutes though, which is it's like the
Long.
third longest MCU movie.
Yeah.
But they are introducing a lot. So like Namor,
Yeah.
Ironheart, all that, and like obviously a new Black Panther. Um,
I
but
know I
yeah,
felt like I'm kind of excited for.
I mean, I'm not necessarily excited, but I'm like open to it. I'm not. I just feel like it's weird. They're introducing like an Iron Man esque character so quickly after Iron Man died, and like we already have War Machine, but
Assuming it's something to do with Armor Wars. I'm just assuming it's gonna connect to Armor Wars. Or she'll be
yeah,
in it at least.
yeah, she'll definitely be in it. But yeah, we just found out that Armor Wars, which was supposed to be a TV show, is now going to be like
Becoming a movie,
it's
yeah.
a movie, and it's not like a Disney Plus movie. It's like going to theaters, which I'd always prefer a movie over one of the Disney Plus series. So,
Yeah.
and I don't think Armor Wars is like a necessary like, film to be made,
Yeah,
but if they are gonna do it, I'd prefer them to do a movie.
I agree.
It's cool
I
that
feel
Don
like it's
Cheadle
hard
gets
to do
to,
the suits like in
yeah,
like
it's gonna be a
yeah,
lot of money.
on a streaming service. Like it's
Yeah,
better off like that's a move that's like a property that should be in the theaters.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I was gonna say it's cool that Don Cheadle's getting his own movie finally
Yeah,
because he's been a part of the MCU for so long. You
yeah,
know, um, I feel like it'll apparently it's gonna be people get their hands on Tony Stark's like technology, and he
yeah.
has to kind of go around and like round everyone up basically, which is cool. Um, but yeah, apparently there's gonna be a lot of suits,
Suits, yeah.
which
Who do you
I
think the
mean,
villain will be?
I'm thinking maybe they could bring Justin Hammer back.
Hammer, yeah, people saying that.
I can't really think of anything else that they could do with that. But
Yeah, I can't. That's the only person I can really think of.
yeah, because if they
Apparently,
bring
it leads straight out of Secret Invasion. Like Secret Invasion, like turns in like whatever, however it ends, like leads into Armor War.
all right, which sounds fine. Maybe White Vision will come back because he's
Yeah, I
technically
know
a
that's a rumor
suit
about
that's
that.
like on
Yeah.
the loose. Um, what was I gonna say, bro? I keep losing track of my thoughts.
What?
Um, oh yeah, I was gonna talk about. So let's say they bring Justin Hammer back, they could maybe get him a suit and then put him in Thunderbolts. You know,
Yeah, I mean that's possible too.
um, we're talking about the Thunderbolts. Apparently, Harrison Ford is in the running to replace William Hurt
Yeah, I saw that
as
too.
General Thaddeus Ross.
Probably there's no shot that happens though.
But the fact that they are like looking at people means that for the story, the character is going to get recast. Whether it's going
Yeah,
to be Harrison Ford or not, doesn't matter. Which that's just like a whole can of worms in itself because
yeah,
if they're willing to recast someone because they're important, like he's going to be Red Hulk.
yeah. As I'm
Like
assuming that's why they're recasting. Yeah,
someone who's way more important to the story, like T'Challa, Black Panther. and he's not getting recast. It kind of is like, I don't know.
I
I
feel
guess
like it's a little different though, like because Chadwick died like suddenly and young, like in the middle of like they weren't expecting him to pass away. Not that who played General Ross?
William Hurt.
He was old, like he was an older actor, so like it was something that I'm assuming they had an idea was gonna happen at some point. Like they thought Chadwick was gonna be Black Panther for like next 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. But that also goes to show like how important the character is, and they had all these plans. But I mean, again, like it's just about being sensitive about the whole thing, you know.
Yeah,
Like at the end of the day, like a man like died, you know. It
yeah.
doesn't really matter like if his comic book character
No, yeah, I
put on the
agree.
screen. But yeah, I mean, I know his family has said that they kind of wish that he was
He was
recasted.
recast. Yeah, I saw that too. I saw his brother said something about how he'd want to be recast.
But like knowing the multiverse
But
now,
I
like
kind of
if they
I
want to bring in a new T'Challa, they can at some
yeah.
point.
But I kind of like how the story is now. Like Wakanda's like has a power struggle, and
Yeah,
like because I wonder what the story would have looked like if he was in it.
um, it probably would have been like him versus Namor, basically,
Yeah, but I
because
feel like
this
it. Yeah,
the story could still work. Like, let's just say T'Challa's there. The only difference is there's not a new Black Panther.
yeah,
It's just the same one. It's still gonna be Namor attacking the surface land.
yeah,
It was cool that they confirmed he was a mutant
yeah. So now we have
also.
two mutants officially in the MCU.
Yeah, and like his mutant power is that he could fly with like those wings on his feet.
Yeah,
Not all the like none of the other Atlanteans can do it. He's just an Atlantean that is also a mutant,
yeah,
which is cool. I like how they're keeping that accurate from the comics. But
yeah. I agree. I like the most like they showed that little clip of him flying. It actually looked cool.
yeah, it looked good. Um, but yeah, we'll talk. When does that come out? November? That'll probably be like 2 podcasts from
November
now.
11th, I think. Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Um, but yeah, I think
What's the
that's
next
really
one after
it
that?
for Marvel. Um,
Ant-Man.
probably Ant-Man.
I'm
Yeah, I
assuming
don't.
they're gonna release an Ant-Man trailer within the next like month.
Yeah, because they already had one at Comic-Con,
Yeah.
so
I wouldn't be surprised if they release it with Black Adam,
maybe, maybe.
possibly.
Um, yeah, but I guess we can move on from Marvel.
Yeah,
There's a couple other trailers that came out, which one of which people have been waiting for a while was the Super Mario movie.
yeah. And it actually the animation looks phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
looks really good.
it looks really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they put in a lot of effort with the
Yeah.
animation.
The cast is actually stacked.
People were curious about Chris Pratt's voice,
It's all right. I
but
mean, it's not
it kind of just sounds like Chris Pratt with like a
bad
little
in the New
bit
York,
of
the
a
New York accent.
Brooklyn-esque. But he only
Yeah.
said like 2 lines, so
Yeah. I mean, Bowser definitely looks like he's gonna be the best like casting.
yeah. Jack Black's voice for
I,
Bowser was
and I'm
really cool.
sure, and I love Seth Rogen, and what is he playing Donkey Kong, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, the entire cast is just like so like everyone. All like if you look down the board, everyone's good.
yeah. I'm curious Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, what she sounds like.
It's her first like voice acting.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Because
Um,
she only takes good, but I feel like she only takes good projects, so I'm surprised. Like, I'm assuming this is gonna be good.
yeah. I mean, it's not like an art film or anything, but I'm sure she
No,
was
no,
it's like it's a huge franchise here. It's like Mario.
yeah,
It's world renowned. And like playing Princess Peach is probably like gotta be cool,
yeah.
you know.
I
So
think I hope that this does well because I'd love for them to do like a Luigi's Mansion movie.
yeah, for sure.
But I mean,
Um,
anything with I don't know if you know how Nintendo is with their stuff in the media. Like they're extremely like picky. So like for them to be allowing another studio to make this movie, like I'm assuming the movie's gonna be very good.
yeah.
Like I don't
And
know
I
if you
mean
saw,
it's Illumination who doesn't have like they make the Minions movies, which is like
yeah,
they're fine, but if you want something that's like actually good, they don't have anything. They're not like Pixar, you know.
no, no, yeah, but like I don't know if so. Like, have you seen the movie Wreck It Ralph? Is a little off topic.
No, I haven't.
So basically, there's a scene in there, like where like all the there's like the plot is like he's a villain and like he's not really that bad of a person, but there's like a meeting with all the villains and Bowser's there, like literally for like
Mhm.
2 seconds, and Nintendo like got annoyed at the way like Disney animated Bowser holding like a teacup. Like they made them like reanimate the scene because they didn't like the way he was holding the tea. Like I swear to God,
Really?
they're like extremely like picky with the stuff that they like allow studios to do. Like Netflix had like a whole like Legend of Zelda live action TV show plan. Like they wrote scripts and everything, and then it leaked like out, and then Nintendo like canceled the project.
Wow.
They're
Yeah, I
like
think you
really
mentioned that.
they're very like specific with the stuff they do. So I'm assuming it's gonna be very good because they wouldn't have let Illumination like make it if it wasn't good.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm trying to see if we posted any more trailers. Yeah, because that does look cool. We'll definitely go see it and
Yeah.
talk about it when it comes out. We also got our first look at I guess will be the last bit of news we talk about, unless you could think of anything else. But the Planet of the Apes, the first look
Oh
of
yeah.
concept art, and it's like confirmed that it takes place
After the
in
original,
in the same
right?
continuity, but it says many years after, and it sort of looks like there's this ape who's in a city and it's completely overrun with greenery. He's on a horse and he has like a hawk coming
Yeah.
towards him. It's just like the whole atmosphere and vibe of it looks really cool. We also got the title, which is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Um,
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be really good.
yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know much, but if it's in that universe and has like similar people around, um, attached to it, I mean, it's obviously the same. Well, actually, no, it's
Yeah.
not the same studio because Disney's doing it now.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah. Right.
either way, I think it's gonna be like a fresh take on it because those original Planet of the Apes trilogies, it started with like normal society, and then like this outbreak of these like super enhanced animals, and then
Yeah.
it eventually led to a point where like they have their own sort of society, but it's still very underdeveloped.
Yeah.
In this, it sort of seems like it's going to be like the world after apes take over,
Yeah. And how
which
I guess like how humans are surviving and like functioning.
yeah, I feel like there's not going to be a lot of human characters in it, which would
Probably
be
not.
cool. I think they might just do like an ape conflict between them,
That would
which
be interesting.
yeah, which I mean, we've seen like glimpses of it in the other
Yeah.
movies. Like there was that bad like ape. I forgot his name. You know who I'm talking about? The one that was like the villain.
In the third one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there was also like the human villain who was played
Yeah.
by what's his face? Carnage. What's the dude's name?
Oh, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson, which was fine. But like I feel like having an ape on ape conflict will be something different and something cool because
Yeah.
there is so much like Planet of the Apes like media already, and I don't think they've done that much. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna like quickly do a Twitter rundown of what I liked to see if there's anything else I want to mention. Do you have anything, Joe, or no?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah. Oh wait, Michael Waldron's gonna write Secret Wars. We forgot to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
What do you
I'm
think
sure
about
he'll
that?
be fine. I mean, he was fine with WandaVision and Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, he wrote Doctor Strange 2 and he wrote WandaVision, which people love WandaVision, but Doctor Strange 2 kind of is
A
a
little more
little
mixed.
bit mixed. Um, so people were upset that he was going to be writing this
Yeah.
script, but I don't. I feel like I really liked Multiverse of Madness, so I don't really care.
Yeah,
And
I
I
know a
also
lot of people didn't like love it, but I thought it
and
was fine.
for a movie this big, like it's not just gonna be him writing it. Like he's gonna be with Kevin
Oh
Feige.
yeah, yeah.
This whole thing is gonna be planned out like strategically. It's not like they're like, all right, write what you want, you know.
Hmm.
So I feel like that doesn't matter as much. They still haven't chosen a director, right, for Secret Wars.
No. I heard like the rumor right now is the director of the Marvels. Apparently they really liked her film, and I wouldn't be surprised because that's kind of like a team up.
Nia DaCosta.
Yeah,
She directed the new Candyman movie, which was pretty good.
yeah, I saw that.
Um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it. My choice would probably be John Watts.
Hmm.
Um, just because he's done that huge movie of bringing like multiversal characters in
Yeah,
and having to
it's really
have this
good.
huge team up, and he did a great job with it.
But
But
he's
like
got a
I,
lot of shit like going on for the next. Like I don't know if he's gonna do another because his Star Wars series just finished filming. I don't know if they're gonna do another season of that. He's doing Final Destination stuff for HBO,
yeah, yeah, we'll
and
see.
I'm
I mean, but
assuming
it's
he's
kind of
doing
hard to
Spider-Man. What?
turn down Secret Wars though. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm assuming he's doing Spider-Man 4 as well.
yeah, but yeah. Once they announce a director, we'll get into it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that wraps up all the
all the
stuff that came
news.
out
Yeah.
this week, which was a lot. But yeah, I guess we'll get into movie that I'm excited to talk about. I've been waiting to
Yeah.
talk about this one for a while, and it's Arrival, directed by Denis Villeneuve. It released in 2016 and stars Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, Forrest Whitaker. It's basically a story about what would happen if aliens touched down on Earth, spoke a completely different language, and we, as a society, have to figure out what they're trying to communicate
Yeah.
to us. So, since I recommended it, Joe, I'm like, I want to know what you thought. You know?
I really liked it. It was a good sci-fi movie, and it was also like a really good movie on top of it. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Like the twist of it. I mean, I kind of like had an idea of what it was gonna be towards the end, but it was still like kind of out, like pretty out there, and a really unique idea for an alien film.
yeah. And in my opinion, it's the most accurate depiction of aliens that we've seen in
Oh, how people would
movies.
act.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
because there's that scene at the beginning, which it's sort of reminiscent almost to like September 11th, where it's like
Yeah,
the aliens first touch down, and you see Amy Adams' character, she's a linguistics professor, and she's like teaching a class, and everyone's sort of like getting notifications on their phone, like people are like
yeah,
crowding around TVs, and she like puts the news on, and you see like, oh, this huge like mysterious like object just landed, and like everyone's sort of like freaking out,
yeah,
and they cancel class, like everyone, it's just like kind of hysteria of like people like saying that people will say, oh, where were you when this happened, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
And I feel like if a spacecraft actually landed on Earth, that's exactly what would happen. People would just
Oh,
start like
100%. Yeah,
tweaking out.
yeah. I agree.
um I also
And I like
thought,
how everyone would just automatically become hostile. That was like such
yeah,
an accurate thing. Or
yeah,
or like the news when people were saying like, oh, like we need to start arming up and attacking this thing. Like they don't want to. Like I don't know if you peeped that at one point in the
yeah,
movie.
it's kind of like InfoWars kind of thing. There's gonna
Yeah, that
be
type of
those
like
people.
Newsmax, that type of thing. Yeah.
And yeah, just like another detail when they first landed, like remember, just to like show the sort of hysteria that stuff like this causes, just the little detail of, remember, they're all running to the parking lot, and like one of the cars is backing out, and then another
Yeah,
one like
no, yeah, that was a
just
good
hits it. It
detail.
shows
Yeah.
like a little fender bender, but it's like just
They were
sort of
honestly, I don't know if it was because it was Amy Adams, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Batman v Superman scene when like General like Zod and Superman are fighting in the city and like everyone's kind of freaking out.
yeah,
It was kind of reminiscent of that.
yeah. I could see
I don't know
that
if it
for
was just
sure.
because it was Amy Adams, but
Joe,
well,
oh no, you cut off for a sec, but
uh,
yeah, I was gonna say though, just in terms of some of the technical stuff, like the music is phenomenal. Like the score is amazing,
yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion. It just fits like the vibe of the movie so well, where it's like the movie is very sort of bleak. It's very depressing in a way.
hmm,
Just how everything, just Amy Adams' character in general, you know, she's
yeah.
a
I agree. She's
very
very like,
just, and I'm not gonna get into spoilers of it yet, but when we find out like her story, because the movie starts with basically, it goes through Amy Adams as a mother, and it runs through the entire life of her kid, which is
Yeah.
her as a kid, and then eventually, when she's like a teenager, she gets cancer and she ends up passing away. But that just happens at the beginning, and then the movie starts. So you
Yeah.
already know like she's this tragic character who lost a daughter, or so we think. But like I'll get into spoilers, low key, because it's kind of hard to not talk about
Yeah.
them. But you end up finding out that um that that scene at the beginning of her daughter dying, in a chronological order, her daughter's death is like the last thing that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
That's like that scene is like the most in the future that any of the scenes are.
But you showed her life with her daughter with it, like the second you open up like that's the first thing you see in the movie.
Yeah. Um but yeah, once we talk about like the aliens more in the twist, then I'll talk about the rest
Yeah.
of the spoilers. But yeah, back to technical stuff. There's just like so many small details that just show like the attention to detail. Like I really liked how when they go in the helicopter, the audio switches when they put the headsets on and you hear like headset audio.
Yeah.
Just like, it's a small thing, but
Little
it
stuff
just
like that. Yeah.
it helps the scene so much. And something I like about the director, this is my favorite director. I like how he just has so many like breathtaking shots in his films.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the helicopter and they first pull up on the uh the UFO or whatever, that shot of like all the fog coming in, and it's like a
Yeah.
long tracking shot and you see like the scale of this thing. They said it's 1,500 feet tall, which is like
I
basically,
was thinking about this after I watched that movie. He hasn't really made a bad film.
yeah, he actually hasn't. There's
Every single
like,
film he's made is good.
yeah, he just cares so much about
Yeah.
like what he does, you know?
Yeah. What's his next pro I mean, I know he's doing Dune Part 2.
As of right now, that's like the only thing on the table.
Nah.
But he also does like, because Arrival is like an original idea. It's based
Yeah.
off like a short story, I think. But like he's done major IPs. He did Blade Runner and
Yeah,
he
he
did
did
Dune
Dune.
and he did great jobs with both of them.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he's the best director working today. I know you love Prisoners,
Yeah, Prisoner's really good.
but yeah, and he has a way of like, I think I've talked about this before, but he takes his movies are like so epic in scale. Like if you think about like who's being affected by this like the story, it's literally the entire world.
Yeah.
But it's also a very personal story at the same time that just involves like basically Amy Adams and her journey with these creatures, you
Yeah.
know, which
Mhm.
it's hard to do that like in in a good way, you know.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Um a lot of it reminded me, I don't know if you've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey,
No.
but a lot of the shots in the ship, like when they go in, reminded me of how things are framed in that movie as
Yeah.
well, which is like known as one of the best like sci-fi films ever made. I think it's slightly overrated, but besides the point.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I feel like I'm talking too much. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add.
I mean, I haven't seen that movie, but I agree all the shots were, like, really good. And the music, like the only thing that I kinda didn't like was the color grading. It was very bland.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
know it's supposed to be, like, real world, and but I don't like when movies do that.
yeah, I still think it like looked great though, the movie.
No, it definitely did, but I feel like if I had a little more color, like, the movie would have popped just even better.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those grayish sort of overtones are sort of like just visually showing the depressing nature of like the
Yeah,
story in general.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's just like on like a technical level, it's in my opinion is near perfect. Like
yeah, it's
in
hard to
how
find, like, whenever I watch a movie, I try to think, like, "Okay, like, what's something bad about this movie? Like, what can I take away from this movie, like, that I don't like?" And for that, there really wasn't a lot that I didn't like.
yeah. I mean, there are some things with the story but nothing like
drawing like where it's
yeah.
like you know.
Um, but yeah, in terms of like the story itself and the world building that they do, that is also done very well. So not just how
Yeah,
the movie was made, but the actual story and what's happening. I liked how they add in like these small details, like you look at this guy's computer screen for a second, and they're talking about how like this cult of like 40 people just all killed themselves because they believe that the alien coming is a sign of Judgment Day and that it's Jesus. So like this random cult like all killed themselves, which is just like
yeah.
such a small thing to add in, but I feel like it's something that would probably happen in real life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There would be people that think like it's a religious
It's God,
thing,
yeah,
it's God or whatever it may be.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, to talk about like the aliens themselves, I
They
the
I
design for
ha
them is like phenomenal. I thought.
Yeah, I feel like they took inspiration from like some type of squid or octopus, especially with the way they communicate with like the ink, sort of.
Yeah, I mean they're called heptapods,
Yeah.
but they're just like they're honestly like terrifying. Like if you think about it,
Oh yeah, just seeing that like out of nowhere. Yeah.
but they're also like beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
Like
very
yeah,
like graceful, kind
yeah.
of, which
Hmm.
is hard to like pull that off in a design. And there's honestly no alien design that's even close to this that I like in terms of resemblance.
You don't like the what about the xenomorph?
No, I'm saying like anything that resembles
Oh,
this.
oh, oh. Yeah, no, this is definitely the most unique.
The xenomorph is obvious. That's another unique one, but that one's great
Yeah.
also. But that's more of like a like menacing, like murderous alien. You could tell
Yeah.
these guys aren't like murderers, you know,
Yeah.
even from like the jump.
Hmm.
Um, but just like again, going into like how much of attention to detail there is, think about like how long it must have taken to make that alien language.
Oh yeah, because they had to do that.
Because it's not like using English letters. It's like a completely new and original idea for what like a language could
Yeah.
be, you know, which is cool.
Yeah.
You
And
good?
yeah, yeah. Sorry. And it was yeah, because I've never. There's no really like. It's not like you know how some languages when they in movies when they have to make up a language like they base it off of like some other type of language like they're it's from like shapes like they had ability to make it on their own.
Yeah, and the whole idea of their language is it's free of time and it's like a loop. And
Yeah.
each uh figure that they put out, it doesn't represent sound, it represents like a thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there's a symbol for like the word earth, but it's not like made up of letters that make the sounds to make earth, you know?
Yeah.
It's free of sound. And basically the big twist is Amy Adams is learning this language to try to like figure out why the aliens are here, you know? Like what is they basically want to get to the point where they could say the sentence to the aliens, what is
Of
your
why
purpose
they
on
what is your
earth?
purpose and like yeah, why you here.
So as she like begins to learn the language more and more, she keeps getting like visions and flashbacks of this daughter, this girl, which we saw in the beginning.
For
And
the
we think
audience is yeah, we think it's like her actual daughter like at home. Oh no,
we
no, no,
think
like her like it's just her like getting like almost like PTSD.
yeah, we think it's her having flashbacks. But what we find out in the end is as she's learning the language and starting to think in that language, she sees time and thinks about time how the heptapods think about time,
Yeah.
which is that it's non-linear. So they can see their entire lives played out in front of them. They think about time as not like the future and the past, it's just one
One singular,
continuous
yeah.
loop. So those visions that she's getting are actually visions of her future, which like it's cool that she starts getting them like as she starts to learn the language.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of like as you understand their language, you understand how they think about time is like such a unique and cool concept
Yeah.
that I think that's one of the excuse me, I think that's one of the best plot twists I've ever seen in a movie, for sure.
And I love the scene where she like realizes that like when it's her at the dinner and she's talking to like the Chinese general, and she
Yeah.
realized like she has to call him. Like that was such a really cool scene.
Yeah, she realized the only way for them, because also we didn't really talk about this, but basically there's like 12 or so of these UFOs that land, and they all land in different countries. So like the different leaders from each country have to like communicate with each other and work
Okay, yeah.
together to like figure out what's going on. But as what would probably happen in real life, like China basically like shuts off communication with everyone else in the
Everyone else,
US,
yeah.
and they want to like attack and try to take out these aliens, which like that kind of stuff was stupid because I feel like even that's a little unrealistic.
What?
Like them wanting to like
Well, the
try to
reason why is because like when they were decoding it, they said like they have like a weapon, so they thought they were gonna attack. So that's why it
like
made
dude, but this huge spaceship has no energy imprint at all and is just like hovering like when it shows up. Do you really think like your weapons are advanced enough to take that thing out?
I mean, like, if they think it's gonna attack, they're probably like, because you're led to believe that because they say weapon, so like they're thinking that it's gonna attack. So I mean, it doesn't really matter because like,
Yeah.
what are they just not gonna do anything?
Yeah, but anyways, what I was gonna say, um, so eventually China like basically stops communicating with the rest of the world, so they can't figure out like what this message is.
Yeah,
Because what happens is, um, the pod that lands where Amy Adams is puts out this message, like a huge message of all these symbols, and then what happens is Jeremy Renner, who's like he's like a science guy, she's like a language guy or language girl. I mean, he's the one who realizes, wait, this image, if you take out the blank space, you realize that it's one of 12. And then there's 12 ships. So they have to get everyone else's image of this language in order to put it
yeah,
all together and figure out like what like what's their purpose. And the way that she basically gets China to
to talk
to
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 listen.
yeah, to start talking with the other people again is that at as you were saying at a gala, she sees the Chinese general, and this is in the future. In the future, he shows her his personal number and he tells her what his wife's dying words were.
Yeah,
So, since that happens in the future, in the past, she has that, I guess, memory. It's not technically a memory, but she knows that she's going to see his number in the future, so she knows it. And then she calls his personal number, and
and
he
says
ends up.
what he yeah
Um, I was like looking into it a little bit, and the dying words of his wife were, "In war, there are no winners, only widows," which I thought was like a
yeah. It's
pretty
kind of
like it
comes full circle.
yeah, in the context of like the movie,
What's
it was
going
cool.
on in the movie? Yeah, I agree. I didn't
Um,
know that was like what it stood for.
yeah, which was cool. And yeah, you basically realize that the reason why the aliens are there, what they meant to say was offer tool, but they
Yeah,
accidentally said like offer weapon. That's why everyone was like freaking out.
freaking out.
But
Yeah,
the tool that they offer is their language. So they give the language to Earth, and then humans can start to think about time as they do.
yeah,
And the reason why they do it is because they say in 3,000 years they know that they're gonna need humans' help. So they're gonna offer them this gift now, and then in the future when they need help, they'll come back and humans will be like willing to help them because
yeah.
they got this gift of their language, which is like just a really interesting like
I wonder if they would ever
plot
do
point.
like anything like a movie about like what they need help with if they came back.
Um, I don't know. I mean, Denis Villeneuve is not like against doing sequels.
It's just the
He's doing
story's gotta be right. I mean, he's doing Dune too.
yeah. Um, what's it called? But yeah, I think one of like the main um takeaways from the story and like one of the purposes is them basically saying like the saving of humanity is gonna be from like communication and
Yeah.
understanding, you know, because like the nature of being a human is being selfish
Oh,
and
yeah.
like wanting to keep these things to yourself, but the only way for them to save
Basically
their
their
like
planet.
yeah, is to communicate with each other,
communicate. Yeah.
which, that's like it's a good message, I
Yeah,
guess.
no,
Like
I agree.
it is a little bit corny, but in terms of like humanity in general, it is like a nice thing
Yeah.
to like go by.
Because I mean,
Um,
that's exactly how everybody would act though if something like that happened.
yeah,
Because people would go off the grid and like all like chaos would ensue.
yeah. Dude, I also think like the suits that they wear in the spaceship, that has to be like Among Us related
Yeah, I
in
was talking
some
about that with my
way.
friend. The backpack too.
That,
Like it
that
looks straight out of Among Us.
yeah, it actually looks exactly like Among
Yeah.
Us, but except Among Us is like way better in terms of
Yeah.
lore.
And deeper.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, like I said, the sci-fi elements of it work so well with like this big twist and like this super like advanced alien race that they they can see like fully into the future. They have all this insane technology, and that stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
But the message of like Lois, who is Amy Adams' character, or Louise, I don't know, whatever. But once she learns the language, she sees her entire life in front of her, and she realizes that she's gonna marry Jeremy Renner. They're gonna have a kid, and the kid is
Yeah.
eventually gonna die young of brain cancer. So she knows that's gonna happen. But it's sort of like, do you
You choose,
continue
yeah,
if you could
continue
see
with
your
the life.
entire
Yeah.
life in front of you, like would you change anything?
Yeah.
And she ends up like going through with it because to her, that small time that she does have with her daughter is worth it,
Worth
even though
it.
she's
Yeah.
gonna lose her in the end. And you also find out that
They
like
get
Jeremy
divorced.
Renner ends up leaving because she tells him like what's gonna happen with the daughter and he can't handle it. But just that
Yeah.
concept in general of knowing something is doomed for failure, yet
And doing it
still
anyway. Yeah.
sticking by it because of like even if it's just a few good memories, you know?
Yeah.
So that aspect of it also works really well for me. And I thought Amy Adams in general was like phenomenal. She's fantastic in it, I
Yeah.
thought.
I mean, she's great in everything she does.
But she like wasn't nominated for an Oscar for this, which was
Really?
pretty
Oh, I
insane.
didn't know.
Yeah. Um but yeah, like I just keep going back to that theme of just like knowing everything that's gonna happen and like it's just such a complex like issue to go
Issue.
into.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie she like says to Jeremy Renner's character, she's like, if you know your entire future, like what if you knew like how your entire life would be,
Yeah. Would
would
you
you like
change it?
what would you do different? And he was like, I guess I would just like say how I feel a little more.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just that scene was really great too.
Yeah.
And she like she hugs him at the end and she's like, I forgot how good it is, how good it feels to be held by you, which like doesn't make sense
Yeah.
because
That's right.
that's like the first time that he was like holding her like that.
Yeah.
But like for her, she knows she could like see
The
and
whole,
feel
she
and
know, yeah,
has,
her whole life. Yeah.
so that whole scene's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but just like the way that the whole story unravels and like how each time they go in the ship, some new information comes
It
out,
happens. Yeah.
like something advances in the communication, like the unraveling nature of the story is also like very well done.
Yeah. I felt like I was like on the edge of my seat basically the entire movie.
Yeah, because you're just wondering like, what do they want? Are they,
What do they want?
you know?
What are they gonna do next time they go off?
Um, but yeah, I mean, to talk about my favorite character, it's Amy Adams
Yeah,
as
same as me.
Lois, or I think is it Lois or Louise? I
I
forget,
think Luis.
but either way, like just such a phenomenal
Yeah.
performance. I'm sorry. um, just like so nuanced in how she acts, and she is, like I said, just a very sort of tragic character because she knows that she's gonna have this burden of
The
knowing,
rest of her life, knowing her kid is gonna die, basically
yeah, but still like
carrying
going
out through.
through
Yeah.
with it and learning that language like in order to save humanity,
Yeah.
basically. So she's a very tragic character. And Jeremy Renner is also really good. I don't
Yeah.
know what you thought of him because I don't know if you've seen him in much besides like Hawkeye.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I've seen him in anything besides Hawkeye.
Because he's like a
Um,
very talented actor. He's actually one of my favorite actors.
I know he has a movie with what's her name? Elizabeth Olsen. That's apparently very good.
Yeah, Wind River,
Yeah,
really good movie.
but yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean, he was great in this.
yeah. He wasn't as good as Amy Adams, but still he was very good.
Yeah, he's still
Forrest
really good.
Whitaker is good too. As
Yeah,
like he's what is he?
the
He's like the
general like
general or
that. Yeah,
something. Um, but yeah, I'm sure you agree with the favorite character part.
yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I'm like talking
I
the
mean,
most of
yeah,
this
it's but
part, but I have a
you
lot to
love the
say.
movie so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I like it too, but you're basically hitting all the notes, I would say.
yeah. Did you have a favorite scene that stuck out?
Probably her when she realizes that she has to call the general is probably the
Mhm.
scene that sticks out the most to me.
Yeah, I my probably favorite scene. There's like a bunch of them, but I liked when she first like takes off her helmet. It's sort of like the first like inciting incident with
Yeah,
the aliens,
and
and they
then
like
they don't really know what to do because like no,
yeah, everyone's like freaking out because they don't know if
yeah,
it's safe. And then the aliens, like that's the first time you see their language. They like put
yeah,
out that ink thing, and it's sort of like her like just showing like a symbol of trust, I guess, with the creatures,
yeah,
you know. But that scene was really cool. I mean, there's so many to um whether it be that, whether it's the ending scene, the scene with the general, like you said, or well, even when the aliens first arrive, like there's so many well done
yeah. There's
scenes.
a lot of really really good scenes in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, one of my it's probably honestly my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you've been talking about this movie, telling me to watch it for a while. I mean, I obviously really enjoyed it. I'm glad you did.
yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the best. I think it's the best sci-fi movie ever made.
Yeah, it's up there. I can't really think of a lot of sci-fi films better than that.
It's just like they do something so different and unique with the
Y-
story of aliens.
Yeah,
There's no other film like it
I agree.
in terms of like the alien story, at least.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I guess to ratings, I gave it 5 stars. It's 10 out of 10. It's like as close to a perfect movie as you could get in terms of what I'm
yeah,
looking for.
yeah. I gave it. I mean, if I originally gave it a 5, I gave it a 4.5, but still, like, easily one of the best films I've seen.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm really glad you liked it. I'm glad I got
Yeah,
to talk about it.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I
Actually,
guess. Wait, go ahead. Sorry.
because now I figured out what movie that I'm gonna recommend. 'Cause I didn't know what I was gonna do before, but I think you're gonna like it too.
All right. Well, wait, let's do our questions really quick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't think we have a lot this week, but
No.
might as well just do them. Um, First one, Cole Giacomo. Is the One Piece real?
Yes. Of course it is. We got to do an anime episode.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
actually, the One Piece movie comes out November 4th.
what is the One Piece though? What do you think it is?
Um, I don't
You
know.
th- you think
Probably
it's
more. I don't think it's gonna be money. It's gonna be something like
you think it's gonna be like the friends they made along the way is the real
no.
One
I don't
Piece?
think. I don't think it's that. I hope not. I think he said it's not that. Like it's a physical item.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I guess. Thanks for the question. And yes, the One Piece is real. Um. Then from Peyton, thank you for the question because you actually keep us afloat with these
Well,
questions.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Thoughts on the Halloween Town movies?
I've never
Uh,
seen him, so I have no opinion.
I mean, they're not like good movies objectively, but
I mean,
they're very
I watched like Hocus Pocus a couple days ago, and it was pretty bad.
really.
Yeah, I did not like it.
Yeah, I guess you could kind of loop them in together.
Yeah,
Like I said, I don't think they're good movies per se, but they just
yeah,
have
no,
this vibe
yeah.
that
Like the
like
whole like setting of the movie was cool and shit, but like the script was really really bad, and so were the actors.
you tired over there, bro.
Yeah,
That was a pretty insane yawn. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't like you know what it is, Halloween Town. Like it's gonna be all these
yeah. I know what
spooky
I'm getting.
vibes,
Yeah,
and but like they're good to toss on and like carve a pumpkin or something, eat some candy
yeah.
corn. just to like get yourself in that spirit.
Yeah, it's like Christmas movies. Like a lot of them really aren't that good. It's just
Yeah,
more or less like the theme of the movie.
yeah. Um, so yeah, thanks for the question.
Yeah.
And the last one we'll wrap up on is from our mother again, CPA Mom of Three. Thanks for being
Thanks
such
for
a
the
loyal
question.
fan to the
Yeah.
podcast. And she says, "Do you think actors that are typecast have more successful careers, or those that can delineate themselves? For example, Amy Adams has played in comedic roles as well as dramatic, while Dwayne Johnson plays the adventurous, tough leader in most of his films."
I'm confused a little bit. What is she trying to say?
Basically, do you think that like actors that are typecast,
Like
which
for a
means
specific
they're
yeah,
like
no.
their character, they're like,
Like The
you know,
Rock.
The
Yeah.
Rock,
Yeah.
like Ryan
Chris
Reynolds,
Hemsworth.
or yeah, do you think they um have more successful careers than people who are more diverse in their acting range?
No, I probably because it's more stable. Like they'll always get that type of movie.
That's a great point. I mean, you see, like the thing is, the best actors are those who are able
Oh yeah, the best
to book.
actors, yeah. But the most successful, like in terms of like their careers, like making money, probably that's like one role. Like look at The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock, Kevin Hart,
Yeah,
like you know what you're getting into with them,
yeah.
and then sometimes you see those type of people try to do other stuff and just fail
Yeah,
miserably.
it doesn't work out at all.
But I mean, there are people that could do both. Like for example, Jim Carrey. I mean, he's mostly known for his comedy stuff,
Comedy,
but
yeah.
when he does serious roles, he's very good. Um, Trying to think of like who's a Jared Leto's like a super character actor, but he's not good or a good actor. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, I feel like most actors are kind of like typecast actors where you know what you're getting with them.
Yeah, I mean at least two, like they at least have two. I feel like they'd say like two different types of films that they do, but like I'm trying to think of example.
Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking it from like
Like Anya
Marvel or
Taylor-Joy,
something.
she mostly does like horror. I'd say like thriller,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
but she's never done a
she'll
comedy.
yeah, she's never done like Mario is like probably the weirdest thing she's done.
Yeah. And yeah, but I would agree. Just like having the stability of knowing,
Ability, yeah.
and
Like
they
The
know you.
Rock will always get roles. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter like what he like he's always gonna get roles. Just because of his name and like, but he built that from just doing a specific role in a movie.
Yeah. Definitely a good point. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great question. So thank you. Um, yeah, I guess you could before you recommend it though, I kind of just want to quickly. I forgot to mention this, but I wanted to apologize for my voice. It's a little bit super nasally,
Yeah, I
and
was
it's
gonna say
because
you sound
like
a little sick.
yeah, no, it's just my allergies, dude. They're
Yeah.
kicking my ass. I guess because it's starting to get like chilly now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know it's all the way at this point, so you've listened to my nasal for 2 hours at this point, but I have to apologize for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Joe, what movie do you want us to watch for next episode?
So I know it's still like kind of it's still gonna be Halloween, like when we record again. And there was a couple announcements about a remake of this movie, but I want to recommend the original Nosferatu, just because
Oh
I've never
wow,
seen it, and then after watching Werewolf by Night and like that black and white horror, I kind of want to like watch it. And then what's his name? What the hell's the name of the guy doing the remake?
Robert Eggers.
Yeah, they just announced Bill Skarsgård is playing
He's playing.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Bill
and then
Skarsgård, Nicholas Holt, and
Nicholas Hoult, and then some random girl.
Lily
I know
Rose Depp.
Anya Taylor-Joy was supposed to be in it,
Yeah,
but she dropped out due to scheduling conflicts.
yeah, some random girl, aka Johnny Depp's daughter. But yeah, um, yeah, dude, that's gonna be interesting because I'm pretty. That's like a silent film.
Yeah, and this is probably my first silent film I've ever seen.
I've seen one. I've seen Phantom of the Opera, which I actually really enjoyed. But yeah, I've always wanted to watch this, so
Wait,
that's
I didn't know that was Johnny Depp's daughter.
yeah, bro. Lily
What
Rose
the
Depp.
fuck? Who's her
Yeah.
mom?
I don't know.
It's not. It's not Amber Heard, right?
No, I don't think so.
She's mine. She's 23. Damn, I didn't
Um,
realize she was that like young.
yeah. But yeah, anyways, all right. Nosferatu. I'm pretty sure it's from 1922, so
Yeah, I'll
that'll
look it up
definitely
now.
be the oldest one we've talked about.
1922. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a pretty good guess. But yeah, all right. So
Yeah.
thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We got
2 weeks.
Nosferatu. We
Black
got
Adam
Black Adam, which
and Halloween Kills.
Halloween ends.
Oh, Halloween Ends. I'm sorry.
See if you could watch the two or
Yeah,
the
I
three
gotta
that
watch.
before that
It's,
just to
do I
catch up.
need? I mean, I watched obviously the original, but I'll probably like. What do I have to watch?
Watch Halloween 2018 and then Halloween Kills.
Oh,
Or
it's like
just
10.
Halloween 2018 if you want. Like,
Okay. I know like the basic. Are they
yeah.
good? I haven't seen them.
Yeah, they're good. I enjoy them. So,
This is before we end. Actually, it's a little. Oh, we forgot to mention probably the biggest news that dropped all weekend.
what?
The FNAF director.
You think that's the biggest news?
Yeah, bro.
Well,
I'm not
honestly, to
kidding.
us, it actually might
Yeah,
be.
it is for us at least.
Dude, I can't believe you forgot that. There's just
Yeah,
I was so busy this week when I
yeah,
was like
no.
putting together shit to like talk about. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, FNAF, it's coming. FNAF movie's coming.
February 2023 is the official filming start date.
Yeah, so we'll probably get some news about casting
Pretty
somewhat
soon,
soon.
yeah.
Yeah. Very
I don't
exciting times.
I
We
don't
inch
think there's
closer.
anybody
We
huge
inch
that
closer to live action William Afton and Freddie Fazbear.
that's very
Um,
but
but yeah, I mean, this we just got a director. It's like a no-name director. The biggest news is that it's actually
filming
starting filming. So
2020 February 2023. So relatively soon, honestly.
yeah, pretty soon.
And then I mean this is a little off topic just with horror too. So Blumhouse, well Jason Blum announced like their big 2023 release is gonna I don't know if you know they're doing like an Exorcist trilogy.
Yes, yes.
So that's gonna be their big like 2023
Yeah, so it'll
release.
probably I feel like it'll come out like either
Probably
late
Halloween.
2023 or
I am
early
assuming Halloween.
2024.
But
So
that's like an interesting because like they haven't touched that movie in a long time. And it's
mhm.
considered like one of the like best horror movies ever made. So I'm
Yeah,
interested to
it
see like
is.
how
It
they're gonna
definitely is.
handle it.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out.
Dude,
But yeah, I think we're inching up on 2 hours here. So
I can't believe we forgot the FNAF movies, dude.
yeah, dude, I'm actually tight about that. Did Fiona just bark in the back?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, again, thanks guys for watching
Thanks for
slash
listening.
listening, and we'll see
See
you
you
in
guys
two
in 2
weeks.
weeks. Peace.